Decepticons forever! Don't judge my accent too much. That's literally the first time I've ever tried to do Beast Wars Ravage. Yes, it's Beast Wars Ravage! We actually got a toy of Beast Wars Ravage, and it only cost us $52. Ah, man. Okay, so this is an awesome figure, right? It's Beast Wars Ravage. They put a lot of attention and love and coolness into this figure. He looks so accurate. He is so cool. But for whatever reason, this was a Pulsecon exclusive that came with an unnecessary reissue of G1 Ravage that cost $51.99. And this is a deluxe class figure, mind you. So I just need to get this out of the way right now. Now, number one, yes, I did buy it. I am a sucker. I did buy it. I wasn't going to say no to Beast Wars Ravage. That's the thing. They knew we would need to have it. So we bought it anyway. Even though it's still in stock. It is still in stock on Hasbro Pulse. Just as of the recording of this. It might be out of stock by the time it comes out. But yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? But anyways, let's just assess the value here. So I'm not going to say it's $50. I'm going to say it's $51.99. So they recently reissued the G1 cassette minions, and it was $14.99 for 2 of them. So let's just say it's $7.50 for a Decepticon. Let's just call it. Let's just say $10. Let's be generous and say it is $10 to get a reissued G1 Ravage. So let's say $10. So that brings the cost of the set down to $41.99. And let's look at the box here. It's really cool, right? It's a cool box. Now, granted, mine came nicely dented, but it does actually have the interior of the ship there, and actually does have a little container to put the G1 Ravage. Here, let me show you. So you can take that out, and you can actually use this as a diorama, which is really cool. And you can actually put Ravage in there. I said you can put Ravage in there. I said you can put Ravage in there. Let me set the plastic down. I'll try with 2 hands. Ooh, let me not knock into the camera and try to. There we go. You can put Ravage in there. It's cool, right? You can put Ravage in there. You can stand actual, Beast Wars Ravage in there, and it's neat, right? This isn't anything that Studio Series doesn't already do. Sure, it's a percentage more cardboard. It's a fraction more. But it's basically not anything Studio Series doesn't already do at, the standard price point. So, yeah. What we're left with is a deluxe class Beast Wars Ravage that cost us, let's just say, $35–40. But J4, you may say, it's an exclusive. That must mean it costs more, right? Yeah, there's always an exclusive tax to things. They're made in smaller numbers, which means that they don't put in, as big an order for the factory, which means that they have to actually cost more to make. So, yeah, it does have the exclusive tax to it. But does that exclusive tax really make it twice the price of a normal deluxe figure? Does it really, though? Because this at the end of the day costs on its own, being generous, $40 for this, a deluxe Ravage. It is a deluxe figure at the end of the day. It doesn't really have any extra paint, any extra engineering. It is a deluxe class Beast Wars Ravage that cost us almost leader class price. Basically, it did cost us leader class price. Basically, it did. I don't like that at all. And I really had to start this review before I even talk about the figure, just saying this cannot become a trend. I know it's exclusive and all that, but it cannot be a trend. Hasbro cannot continue that. Because, man, if it was anything else other than Beast Wars Ravage, I don't think I would have bit the bullet. But they knew that we would need this. They knew, and I hate them for it. But at least they delivered and gave us a really cool figure. At least they did that. So let's just get this out of the way. G1 Ravage. It's a reissue. It's, it actually does have diecast. It's a reissue of G1 Ravage. It is all in, like, silver. You can transform it. Oh, how does G1 Ravage transform? Here, let me show you. It you flip out the legs, and you flip the tail, you flip the head, and then you give him the cannons. There we go. This is G1 Ravage. I mean, it is cool it comes with this, right? It definitely does make it, an exclusive box set. it is neat that you do get a reissue G1 Ravage, right? It is neat, especially since you can use the cassette mode. And for people that don't already have this, it's great. But I mean, I feel like a lot of us, especially with the recent reissues, probably already have this. So to me, it's kind of a redundant thing in the collection. It kind of is. Like, I don't know where I'm going to put this. So I feel like it was kind of, in a way, just a way to, pad out the price. But I can't really complain because it is a relevant accessory. At the end of the day, that's what this is. It's an accessory. Honestly, to me, that's what it feels like. So let's get this transformed in the right order. There we go. Then yeah, there's a Ravage. He's pretty cool. I mean, it's neat that he comes with it. But we're all here for the Covert Agent of, I think, was it the Tripredicus Council? Isn't that who he served? It's Ravage. And yeah, it's amazing. It's cool that Ravage was in Beast Wars. It was very cool. I wish Grimlock was in it too. He got a toy, but he didn't actually get a show appearance. Yeah, man, this is a cool figure. I really dig it. I have like one complaint, and it's not even that big of an issue. I only have the one complaint. It's the painted parts. Because I don't know if you can see, but like these lighter, like gray pieces are painted. And it makes these hip joints really stiff. But most of all, it makes the shoulders stiff. But most of all, it makes the bicep swivel super stiff. Like super stiff. And he's got these really thin double jointed elbows, and I'm worried like someone's gonna move this bicep swivel the wrong way and that elbow's gonna snap. So what I might do, and what I might recommend others do, is remove that, maybe shave down the peg a little bit, or try to go in there and get rid of some of the paint, because it is really stiff. Like you can even like see that, how it's kind of creaking, how it stops and then it goes. I don't know why they had to paint it. I guess it just was cheaper than molding it. Yeah, you can see I'm trying to move the elbow. That is definitely some effort you have to put into that. But other than that, man, basically no complaints. Look at that head sculpt. That is Beast Wars Ravage. As weird as it is Beast Wars Ravage. You can close the jaw. You can open it. You can get it open decently wide, too. He's got the weird little gray thing on the top of his head. It's so oddly just a cat head on a robot. It's great. Come on, close up. There we go. Yeah, definitely a great head. I think it looks best if you leave the mouth open just a little bit. I think it looks best if you do that. He's got his guns. Always loved the look of his guns, especially how he wielded them. He was just like, I am Ravage. Like, come on, it's awesome. His chest looks really good. That's an all-new sculpt. For the most part, he's an all-new figure. He does share a little bit with Cheetor. Just a little bit. Mostly just like the legs here. You can see the feet are basically Cheetor. Besides that, though, he's pretty much all new. Chest looks great. I mean, I do think that circle should have just been silver, and like the square should have been black. But, I mean, it still looks good. I'm not going to complain about that. Just a little observation. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool figure, honestly. It does have the legs dangling, but how else were they going to do it? I just popped his paw off. That's not good. I do kind of wish they did find a way, though, to move the legs more out of the way. Like wish you could have, like, folded it up into the body, because the body's pretty hollow on the inside. That would have been cool. Unfortunately, there really isn't a way to do that. It does already kind of tuck into the body, but man, I think that would have been really cool if they figured out a way to do that. But they did already figure out some cool stuff with the transformation. But let's talk about the figure first, and his articulation. So he's got a ball joint at the head. You can kind of move it up and down a little bit, side to side. Pretty much all the range you'd really need. Works pretty good. Shoulders are on universal joints. We've already talked about these really tight bicep swivels. But he does have double jointed elbows that move in all the way. He's got wrist swivels. Oh my gosh, you see that bicep? It's scary. He's got a waist swivel. You can't articulate the tail up and down because he does actually have the tail as a part of his design. You know, that is actually a part of him. His hips can move. He's got, oh, you hear that? Hear that crack? That's where the swivel there, because that's painted too, where it was like paint stuck a little bit. He's got a swivel right above the knee. Kind of disappointing knee bend. It doesn't even go 90. But he does have really nice ankles that can move really forward and back. Dude, forward ankle motion is like one of the most underrated points of articulation of all time. No one talks about it. Like, being able to move the ankle forward. Like, it's one thing to be able to move it down, but to move it forward, like, you really can get some good crunch poses. Like, here, just look at this. Just being able to move it forward, man, really does a lot for a figure. And, man, just look at this. He does have the pivot, too. Here, let's get him balanced. Come on, balance. I said balance. There we go. Yeah, man, look at that. That is sweet. He's a really sweet figure. I really do think he is. It's just a shame about the little scheme that Hasbro pulled with the price. But let's transform him, because even though he didn't really transform in the show, they are like, hey, he is a Transformer toy. He can have a very clear, distinct alt mode. Let's go ahead and give him one. So, basically the legs are very Cheetor-like. Pretty much just Cheetor in the legs. You do that, boom, there you go. That's the legs basically done. But the body, this is where it gets really interesting. So you pull the chest out. Then you move the head and that chest panel up. You move the arms in. And you rotate, I would say before you do that, rotate the biceps facing out before you even put the arms in, just because of those biceps. And move the hand facing up, kind of like a, you know, a gorilla pose. So have the hand facing up. Then get those in there. And what they want you to do is to tab them in, but I don't recommend that. What I would do is first get the cat legs out, and then move these up as close into position as you can. Because these are actually going to feed into the holes, into the cavities where the cat legs were. And then once you close this up, as you can see, it's going to go in. You do kind of have to wrestle it a little bit. But I just found this is the easiest way. See, I close that up, and that's looking good. But I did it wrong. You're supposed to, before you do it all the way, get the cat legs in there. And then close it up. There we go. Everything's all clicked in. Look at that back. That is nice. Then basically, get the cat legs oriented. Get the head moving up. Get the legs down. And there you go. There's a Ravage in his more actual cat mode. And, man, this is, for being kind of an afterthought, it's pretty good. I really dig it. Now, granted, yes, his thighs are all silver and not very, you know, they don't blend in too well. And he does have a little bit of silver on the chest there. And he has the big old, like, brain thing on his head. But, awesomely, his guns here, they did actually give him little pegs. And you can peg him in to the thighs here. And they're kind of like shooting his shoulders, but you can actually give him, like if you maybe move it a little bit, you can actually give him his hip cannons. That's so neat. That's a really cool idea. I really dig that. That really works. Definitely a fan of that. And besides, like, they do kind of, you know, cover up some of that silver there. Kind of do make him look a little more black. Yeah, this is a cool figure. I definitely really like it. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, it's still in stock. And like I said, I do recommend it. But it's very expensive. For a deluxe class figure, they are charging way too much for this. And I can recommend it to hardcore Beast Wars or hardcore Ravage fans. I am both. So this definitely was a must for me. But man, that price is it's really hard to recommend this to someone who's just a casual Beast Wars fan. They're like, oh yeah, Ravage was in Beast Wars, wasn't he? Oh, that was kind of neat. Like, if you're one of those, you don't need Ravage. He wasn't a very, you know, he wasn't like a main character in the show. He was a cool guy that popped up, and he was cool. He didn't last too long. It was nice. It's an awesome figure for, like, I'm trying to grow my Beast Wars collection with Kingdom stuff and with Legacy stuff coming out, so I knew I needed Ravage. I just hate that Hasbro knew that I needed him, and they charged, like, twice as much as they should have. I hate that. But it's all good. I feel like this set, in my opinion, if they would have priced it reasonably, with the exclusive upcharge and coming with the G1 Ravage, this should have been a $35 set. That's what I think. I think they charge way too much. I don't agree with the price, and I think it's a problem. And I feel like I normally don't talk about price, right? I normally don't. I did it with Wrecker because I felt like that was, like, why is he $10 more? And with this, man, it's just way too expensive. What were they thinking? Man, they still got me to buy it though, so I mean, they won. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to the patrons of Patreon. You guys are super awesome, and without that kind of support, it would not make me being able to overpay for figures a thing. Thank you guys so much. I seriously appreciate all of you. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.